when you go to record a video, but you realise you're also wearing a green t-shirt as well. But oh well, never mind. We shall soldier on as always. Yesterday, I really wanted to cover this on live stream. One of the things that I think that is going to become more and more as an issue as we go on, not only just here in the UK, but I think in other Western countries, is the idea of UBI, or Universal Basic Income. So what is UBI for those who don't know? UBI is basically everyone gets a certain set amount of money. They get so much amount of money a year. It's basically like a wage, but everyone gets it. Now, these have been trialed before in other various countries, and overwhelmingly, these UBI payments have proven to be incredibly good for the people, and people, especially in the recipient of these. In fact, one of the biggest pluses of this, I think it was it was either the Finnish one or it might be the Dutch one. I can't remember now because a lot of countries have trialed them with these for these things. There's lots of different reports flying about there about, and overwhelmingly quite good. But one of the interesting side effects that I think has been unanimous from all of them is that a lot of people from this have used this UBI as an investment to start their own business and use that to essentially kickstart their own business, which I think has been incredibly good. You've also had people who have been on like two or three jobs and have been able to at least move away just to have one job now and also be able to take care of their family more because of that universal the UBI. So there is overwhelmingly really good social aspects to this. So this is something that definitely I will really want to follow up on when the trial gets completed, to see what the impacts have been in this trial, because I think overwhelmingly this is going to be quite good. And I think the money that they are giving, it's like £19,200 for the year. And I think it's the highest trial of a UBI that has been done so far. So this, for everyone, especially on the left, or if you are very pro UBI, is a very, very interesting trial to watch, and certainly to keep your eyes on for the future. But anyway, we're going to go into this article to find a bit more about this and about people setting up and hopefully their impacts and what they are expecting to see here in Wales. Because if this happened in Wales, then there's no reason why this maybe can't be trialed elsewhere in the country to see its effects, like in Scotland, Northern Ireland, here in England. Now, of course, the Tories might not want to do this, but hey, it would certainly be a very good Labour policy to push forward. So, as always, before we do get into the article, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support the channel that way. So, on with this. This comes from The Independent with the title of Wales Trials Paying Universal Basic Income of £19,000 a year. The scheme rate is thought to be the highest of its kind. The Welsh Government's trial of universal basic income will pay around 500 people at least £1,600 a month, the devolved administration has announced. Under the pilot policy, some vulnerable young people will be paid at least £19,000 for a year for about 24 months from their 18th birthday, the highest any large-scale pilot scheme done. The scheme will be open to all young people living in care and extended to double the number of people that have previously been planned. Some members of the Welsh Parliament last month did express concerns that the pilot, originally expected to cover just 250 people, might be too small to be a useful study. But unveiling the details on Tuesday, the Welsh minister said that the programme is now likely to be taken up by around 500 care leavers. And again, especially care leavers. You've heard a lot, maybe recently, of course, about whole stuff surrounding Prince Andrew. If you've listened to this, there's often talk being involved in that of what they call the care gap. The second someone who's been in care or foster care, once they turn 18, they just seem to fall off the cliff. So I'm really happy that they are going to be trialed this, because this could be a good trial to help maybe get rid of that gap. To be taken up around over 500 care leavers. Again, this experiment is planned to last a minimum of 3 years. So again, a long time before we'll see the results. But again, overwhelmingly, I'm not surprised that this will good, considering the other trials this has been done in the past. Under a universal basic income, everyone would be paid an unconditional flat amount of cash by the government to help cover living costs. The idea has been suggested as a way of giving people more economic security and opportunities and has been trialled in countries including Finland and the Netherlands. Again, we've observed those before. The Welsh government wants to try and test whether the policy actually lives up to the claimed benefits such as cutting poverty and unemployment and improving the health and financial well-being, so it is piloting it with a smaller group. The Minister for Social Justice, Jane Hurt, said the pilot was also a very exciting project to deliver the most financial stability for a generation of young people that needed it most. The pilot will be built on the existing support offered to look after children in Wales to ensure that people who are taking part in this pilot get all the support they need to be given to the best possible chance to make their way in life and the transition out of the care better to easier, more positive, she said. We are fully committed to supporting those living in poverty, ensuring that they receive the adequate financial support so that everyone in Wales can live happy and healthy lives. Members of the Welsh Parliament said that previously the 250 people was not enough and called for the project to be more diversified across more walks of life and demographics to give more useful data. The basic income pilot for care leavers, as currently proposed by the Welsh Government, will also provide very valuable feedback on the potential of such a scheme to improve the support for a group which faces very significant challenges, the committee said back in January. However, a 3-year pilot of only 250 people will offer very limited information, and applying a basic income to only care leavers will tell us very little about universal basic income. The scheme will be limited to care leavers, but is now expected to cover more people. Officials say that the increase from 250 to 500 is due to the size of the cohort of 18-year-olds leaving care for the 2022-2023 financial year when the scheme will begin. The Welsh Government's Technical Advisory Group on the Basic Income, chaired by Professor Sir Michael Mormont, said that the Technical Advisory Group for the Welsh Basic Income pilot wants to be put on record for our support for this policy. Whilst we have differing opinions on how basic income can actually work on a wider scale, we all agree that the scheme aimed at helping a particularly vulnerable group of people should be welcomed and intended to try and provide the Welsh Government with its support it needs to making this succeed. I think, yep, that's it. Is that it? Yep. So overall, I am very, very happy about that. I'm very, very happy about that. And as you may well know, at the moment, the Welsh Assembly is run by Labour, overwhelmingly. So again, like I say, guys, this is why you should support the Labour Party. This is why you should support the Labour government. But of course, if we do obviously end up rolling out universally UBI, I've said before there are numerous things that need to be done. For a start, we need to heavily tackle landlords, because if you don't think that a landlord is going to go, people are receiving all this extra government money, maybe I should raise my rent on them. We need to especially tackle landlords, and I've said before, make sure we bring in rent controls and other things that we can essentially bring in to drive down the cost of renting, but also improving the stock of social housing as well for these people, and making sure that we actually have affordable housing for people to buy as well. So overall, I am very, very much happy about this to come in. I would definitely be interested in seeing how this trial goes. Obviously, it's going to be 3 years time. So 2026, maybe 2027 before we actually see the full report on this. And again, I'll be very interested in seeing how that happens, or if we have other reports in the meantime to say how this is going, etc., etc. But overall, you've already got the ones from the Finland and the Netherlands that have got, again, massively report the positive aspects of having the UBI for them and the trial that they went through. I think some of the countries have had their own trials as well, which have overwhelmingly been quite positive. So UBI, definitely a way to go, definitely a conversation worth having, and something that I think in the future we are going to see this conversation get advanced more and more in the political realm and space. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And thank you very much to all those people who do support the channel that way. And as always, we'll see you all